Hey, what's up? I'm Gentel Sharrie, and we are here with another episode of Culture Minute. And we have some great corresponders with us today. We have director, writer, actor King with us. Tell us about yourself.
Hey, what's good, man? My name is King Jaquell Martin. I'm a motivational speaker. I have a brand entitled Whispering to Your Soul. This is my first episode. Shout out to my girl Gentel, because I see her out there doing big things. So I get to be on the first episode with a superstar. So I'm over here vibing, you know what I'm talking about?
Thank you. Thank you. I mean, you're a superstar yourself, and we have
Yeah.
another superstar, Sarina Renee, red carpet host, NFL host. She has done it all. Tell us about yourself as well, Sarina.
Yes. So my name is Sarina Renee. I am a media host. I do acting from writing. I have a seasoning business. Um, I'm a mentor, so I have a lot of mentees. I'm just out in these LA streets trying to make it do what it do.
Hey.
So we got some great hot topics today. Our first hot topic is Angela Bassett receiving her Oscar award. I will tell you guys, it's very long overdue. She really should have got her Oscar for What's Love Got to Do with It, because she
Yep.
played the heck out of Tina Turner. So she
Yes.
received it at the 14th Annual Governor Awards. And Regina King, one of her best friends, amazing icon, actor out here in Hollywood, presented the award to her. And as she presented and Angela accepted the award, social media got into a frenzy because they gave each other a peck on the lips. But the peck was it was very friendly. I saw in the shade room when they first posted it. I was like, oh my gosh, like what's happening here? Nothing's wrong with that. I just was like, what's going on? But then I was like, let me watch the clip to see like what's really happening. When I watched it, it was just like, thank you, sister. What y'all think?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
First
first
of
and
all,
foremost, I saw the picture, and just like everybody else in social media, I was like, okay, that's a little strange. You know what I mean? I haven't saw the video, so I can't really say like the dynamic of it. But I will say in the Black community, we don't embrace love like that. In other cultures, they embrace love like that. So for us, it just seemed a little weird because we're not used to, the affection or showing somebody that you're proud. Like say for instance, I believe it's in India, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, but as a sign of respect, giving a peck on the lips, whether you're a man and a man and a woman and a woman, that's a sign of respect. So for our culture as African Americans, it was just a little weird. But once I see the video, I probably have a different take on it as well.
yeah, when I saw the picture, it's perspective versus reality. Because when you first see the picture, the perspective is, man, wait, what? Hold on. I didn't know they were like that. And there's nothing wrong with your lifestyle or whatever else, but it was just shocking, right? But then when you actually watch the video versus reality, do you know how long she has been in this industry? Grinding, how many times she's been disappointed, where she thought, and we all knew should have been won her Oscar, not only just for her, but at the same time, representation for the children and what that means for her to finally get the Oscar, for black women to finally be represented on the platform. I don't want to let some single moment of someone trying to reach about a kiss take away from her achievements, what she's done, and how important it is that we have representation as Black women to win an Oscar, to be at that level. So for me, I won't let that become the distraction. I just want to celebrate her greatness.
Yeah, absolutely. And to your point, we don't even know what relationship Regina King and Angela Bassett had,
Right.
just because we don't see their relationship on social media don't mean that she maybe see her as a daughter. We don't know
Right.
that. She has been an OG in a game for years. You understand what I'm saying? She could have been a mentor. She could have help Regina King get to where she's at right now. We don't know their relationship. So again, like you said, it's a beautiful thing. And, sometimes things are taken out of content with
Right.
a picture versus the reality. So that was
Right.
very well.
Yeah, and I hate that it was taken out of context like that, because this was a very like monumental moment for Angela Bassett. So just to put that picture up there, knowing that just was a friendly like family type of like embracement, it just was like she's getting her Oscar. She like our Black queen is finally getting her Oscar,
Yes.
and you guys are just focused on this really like silly peck. Just like
Right.
Sarina was saying, like different cultures, that's how they greet each other. Like come on now. It's Angela Bassett and Regina King. And speaking of Regina King, she actually is getting ready to release her movie March 22nd, playing Shirley Chisholm, who was one of the first Black woman to run for the president of the United States. So, Regina took some time off of the loss of her son. May he rest in peace. But, she's back and she's getting ready to take on Hollywood once again.
Yeah. One thing I like about this story is the fact that, a lot of us don't even know that we had a Black woman that ran for president, and the first one at that. So for us to shine light on this historic moment is amazing. I love when our history is shown in the correct way. So big ups to Regina King. I can't wait to see this movie. And
And I think it's really dope that Regina King is doing this because of this one word, narrative. We finally get to control our own narrative, because when other people tell our stories, they get to water it down. They get to change it. They don't get to put the impact or the emotions of our truth of how we really feel. You know what I mean? I think it's very important that we're telling our stories about the icon Shirley, or just Black history, period, because we have so many stories that aren't being told. Now, shout out to 50, because I love Power. Shout out to Snowfall and these other different type of shows. But as Black people, we are so much more than this. And now we get to show how educated we are. We get to show how powerful we are. We get to become united and show love and just show us at a whole nother level of intellect. Because a lot of times when other countries or other races see us, they associate what they see on TV as if that's who we really are. And that's all we are. That's why people across the street while we're walking based off of what they saw on television. So I think it's so important for us to be able to showcase our history, showcase us in the light of being intellectual beings, because sometimes at one point in time, we're only considered 3/5 of a human being. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I will be there on the debut when it drops.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, go ahead, Gentel.
Oh, no, you can go ahead.
I was going to say, the fact that, a lot of young girls we have, and I'm not trying to, throw anybody under the bus or anything, but you have your Sexy Reds, you have, women out here that's, twerking, and ain't nothing wrong with that, because I look in the mirror, I walk past the mirror and be like, oh, I look kind of good, and I start twerking too. So don't get me wrong, but to have a positive light for the next generation is amazing. Like that one movie that Taraji P. Henson did with NASA. It was such a historic monumental movie that my daughter wanted to go, because we were in Florida at the time, in Tampa. She wanted to go to Orlando to the NASA Center just to see what was going on because of
Hidden Figures.
Yeah. So movies like this is very important for our community, very important for our next generation as well.
And I'm so glad that you brought up the Sexy Red point. Don't get me wrong, I like to turn up, I like to act ratchet sometimes as well, but we're so much more than that as a culture. And I think there was a video that went viral with a teacher where she was teaching young girls, I think it was ballet or whatever else, and they were asking for them to play Sexy Red or whatever else. Don't get me wrong, I love Sexy Red's music, but at the same time, I think there's an age limit, you know what I mean, where it should be age appropriate or whatever else, where young girls that want to be, they're supposed to be being educated. They're supposed to have higher learning, you know what I mean, where they're just like, we don't want this. We only want to hear this, you know what I mean? So it's about influence and impact. And I believe that this movie for Shirley Chisholm will make an impact on our history and our culture for representation for our young women.
Yeah, I agree with the age limit on the Sexy Red. I listened to some Sexy Red. I'm not going to hold you, but I did see a video recently of like 4, 3, maybe 5-year-old little girls like, bend that over. I'm like, whoa. Like, I know it was the kids version, but like, we can't be doing that. Like, we got to really uplift our young queens and show them, the respectable way. I'm not saying like Sexy Red is not respectable, but her music is not for little kids. It just point blank, period. Like, it's too grown. Like, they shouldn't know about that stuff. Like, no. But switching the subject up. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I understand that it's an age limit, and it shouldn't be for kids, but it's up to the parents though.
It is. Yeah. You're right. So switching the subject up a little bit, Monique, as you guys know, a couple years ago, she spoke out about how Black women in Hollywood, have been treated. And people really did speak up after Monique said her word against Oprah, Tyler Perry, Lee Daniels. So now that Taraji P. Henson has done The Color Purple, she has spoken on the conditions of how the set was during The Color Purple. A lot of people have been like backing Taraji, and Monique has finally said her piece of how she feels about the situation. So basically, during one of the panels, Taraji, Danielle, they were talking about how when they got on set to The Color Purple, they didn't have trailers, they didn't have a crafty section, and they had to drive themselves with rental cars to work. Now, I'm not going to hold you. If I personally booked The Color Purple, and I'm just speaking my piece, if I booked The Color Purple and I was a Taraji P. Henson, if I was a Fantasia, if I was a Danielle, I'm off rip, I'm expecting a trailer. Like off rip, I'm expecting to have food. Like I am an A-list celebrity actor. Even if I was a co-star, low-key, I'm expecting to at least have a trailer or share a trailer with somebody. That's just like standard expectations. And during that, Oprah wasn't aware of what was going on. So Taraji had to voice her concerns with Oprah, and Oprah was able to step in and get those things for those ladies. But what Monique is trying to say, why did it have to take Taraji to speak her voice, speak her opinion to Oprah to champion for them? Monique was basically saying the reason why Oprah did that is because, she was trying to get over on people. I'm in the industry, but I'm not in the A-list celebrity industry. So I don't really know how everything works. But a lot of people are saying because she's the producer, she should know about the trailers and all that situation. And some people are like, that's the studio. What do you guys think?
So I have to be very careful with my words because I have worked on productions with Oprah and the OWN network, right? So Taraji is not lying. I'm just going to say that. When it comes to, from my personal experience and what I've seen and the production that I was on, when it came to marketing for that particular show, it was like the budget was so small to where the actors had to come out their pocket and try to market it themselves. You understand? So it was a lot of, them trying to get to, what is it called? Different premieres or, just doing things to market the thing. They had to fight to get flight tickets. Tickets, hotel, lodging, and all that stuff or whatever. And the only reason why I know is because, again, I was on a production and I saw firsthand. And it's crazy because some of these individuals also had kid actors that was main actors on this show. So some of them had 2-parent households. And it was like, oh, we can only allow one parent, but you have this big budget. You're the OWN network. Why are you not taking care of us like that? You understand? So I'm trying to use my words very carefully because I'm just scratching the surface. I've been in the industry for 19 years. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like, I ain't trying to be blackballed at the same time. Like, you understand what I'm saying? But Taraji is not lying, and I do sympathize with her. And furthermore, going back to Monique, I feel like, people should listen to Monique when she said what she had to say. But, I don't know why people didn't listen to Monique, but Monique was spot on. So I don't know about the whole Tyler Perry situation, but I know firsthand the OWN situation. Yeah.
Shout out to Monique. Sometimes when you're the first to do something, no one believes you. But yet she was still the trailblazer to open up the path for Taraji. I'm not surprised because what industry doesn't this happen in where Black people still in 2024 get the short end of the stick? It just kind of sucks that we're talking about Oprah, who we know has money from all of the successful things that she's done over her life, and shout out to her, and she's in charge of being a producer, wouldn't understand the whole budget of what's going on in the film or conditions. For Taraji and them to be at this level, it's ridiculous for this to happen to them. But this is what I want to tell young actors. That's why you should never judge another person's situation. because you never know what they're going through at the level that they're playing at. Because, we're here, working our way up this ladder. And we're like, man, I wish this and I wish that. But you never know what someone else's struggle is. So to see Taraji in that situation, to be so vulnerable, to talk about this, we just have to do better. I'm not just going to put this on Oprah, but we need to put ourselves in better situations, period. Because who doesn't love the color purple? But now we can't just enjoy the film. We have to talk about the distraction of not being professional. And then that story is bigger than the story of the color purple, which it should be because it's important. But what I'm saying is professionally, we shouldn't have to put ourselves in those situations where we take away from what actors have done and the story about the point of the film. So I believe we're robbing the film of how great it could be, because now when everyone goes to watch the film, they're not just watching the film. They're going to be looking for the drama, the turmoil, and everything else. So it's going to take away from how great the work is. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you can tell me if I'm wrong, Oprah talked about how much she made during the time frame when she shot Color Purple.
35,000.
Right? But we're no longer in that situation. It's called evolution. So if we're no longer in that situation, that shouldn't be the excuse of us doing better now, because we're talking about progress as a people, as a culture. Well, how can we progress if we don't want to change our habits and do things correctly? Progress comes with discipline and responsibility. So I think we need to be more disciplined, more responsible, more loving, and take care of our people, so that way we can continue to progress and tell our stories.
Right. And one thing I wanted to say too, so I understand that OWN is owned by Oprah, right? So I understand that. But when somebody is in a position of being a CEO, you put people in place thinking that they're going to do things right according to your business. So a lot of times, I would say Oprah probably didn't know what was going on because she trusted these people that she hired. You understand what I'm saying? They dropped the ball. Yeah, they come to her and say, hey, this is the budget that we have for this or whatever, but they're not telling her the detailed, minute things that need to be done. You understand what I'm saying? So, to be fair, I don't think Oprah knew exactly everything that was happening on set, and that's including on set when I was, doing the production I was telling you about. Just to kind of clear that up, I just feel like sometimes CEOs really don't know. They just put people in place and think that they're going to do things accordingly. And I think this would be something that Oprah needs to look into and try to clean house, because when we shot, that was in 2018. And the Color Purple just shot again, and y'all still acting like that. You understand what I'm saying? And then you don't know if there's other productions that has been shot and nobody didn't want to say anything because they didn't want to be blackballed, or they didn't want to, lose their spot on the show or anything like that. So you never know. So I think this is a prime time for Oprah to go into her office, talk to her people, and just set the expectations going forward. This is what we're going to do. I need to know on, because at the end of the day, this is my company.
Exactly. And when you're in that position of my company, you get the rewards of it, right? Because it's your company. But at the same time, when things go bad, it's like a quarterback of the team, you get all the hate that comes with it just as well. So to avoid that, I think what you said was perfect. Oprah should definitely do a SWOT report on how business is being done at OWN, because you don't want this situation to spill off to other situations, because then that turns into bad business, and then you're still responsible for the bad business. So I agree with you. I definitely think that she needs to clean house. I think that she needs to make sure that everyone understands the standard of, was it the standard operating procedure of how she wants business conducted, and then to have someone follow up to make sure that that's being done, and that people are being held to that standard. So that way her name doesn't have to be in the light like this, because she's done so many amazing things already.
Right. She's done so many amazing things. And I definitely feel like this is a learning experience for everybody. I mean, when Taraji started speaking on her panels, I just was in shock. Like, I was in shock with how emotional she was. I was in shock just hearing about, everything. And it's definitely given me a different perspective, along with this Cat Williams and Club Shay Shay podcast interview. I mean, woo, that's all I have to say. Like, Cat Williams went he held back no punches. He basically, yeah.
I was just saying he didn't hold back nothing.
Oh yeah,
Cat
he
Williams,
back. Yeah.
Cat Williams was like, I'm finna open up 2024 and y'all finna get what y'all finna get. And it is what it is. I said what I said and I'm still finna go on tour.
Yeah. Here's the thing. People get this Cat Williams thing, from my perspective, wrong. Cat was rebutting what was already said about him.
Right. He was
a
because
rebuttal.
They all spoke on him before.
Right.
They spoke on him.
So we wouldn't even have this amazing 2 hours, 46-minute interview. We wouldn't have this type of tea if people never spoke on Cat first. So sometimes you got to be careful who you speak about, how you speak about, if you're not prepared for the rebuttal. And I don't think they were prepared for the rebuttal. And the reason why that's my opinion is so many people responded to Cat's interview. I'm not saying that everything that Cat said was a lie, but what I will say was the way he worded it, how he presented it, and the tea behind it, the ripple effects caused everyone that he spoke about to say something.
Oh, he had receipts too, because people started pulling up old comedy clips of him doing it first, then the other comedian doing it right after him. I mean, he really had his receipts in line, and it was just kiss the way he did everything. It's really showing people like, anybody can put you on blast at any time. So just be careful what you dish out. If you're not ready to take it, just don't say nothing.
Right.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, I feel like everybody that came back out and said something against Cat, they never said he was lying.
They never.
Yeah.
Nobody ever said that he was lying. And then, I just feel like, how like you have an abuser or whatever that mentally, verbally, financially abuse you. And they think because you ain't say nothing in a couple of years, you forgot about it. Right? Mm-hmm. I think that this is kind of like what happened with Cat. Cat went through a lot of stuff, but at the end of the day, although people in the industry was doing him wrong, he was still doing people right, paying people bills and all type of stuff. I remember my homegirl, Miss Jen, she was actually on tour with Cat Williams.
Oh, wow.
And I'm from Jacksonville, Florida originally. She's from Jacksonville, and she was telling me about the time where, Cat just was like, hey, I want you to come, because I think she was doing a stand-up comedy or whatever, and he saw her and he was like, I want you to come on tour with me. He bought her a flight the next day, and that girl was on tour in stadiums. They got tens of thousands of people. He didn't have to do that. Single mother.
Yeah.
And then I hear stories about when Cat Williams gave Bootsy $15,000 when he first started. It's things like that people don't talk about. You want to talk about, oh, well, yeah, he did this and he did that. And he talking about something. Well, at first I thought he was on drugs because of how everything was said. Right. But at the end of the day, he cleared that up. He was like, I was never on drugs.
Right.
Let me get that.
But that goes with narrative. You know what I mean? How people can paint a narrative and then people will run with information that they don't even know. But because it's the tea behind it or whatever else, it becomes true. You know what I mean? And how people can paint pictures of whatever they want using the power of social media and media, period. You know what I mean? Because I was like,
yeah.
Really? You know what I mean? And I think another example of that would be with Mr. Chadwick Boseman. No one knew what he was going through. And everyone had all that to say. But then when the truth hit them, it was like, no, you said what you said already. It's too late. You feel me? So why are you feeling sorry now when you should have just waited to find out what was the truth behind the situation? So I think what Cat did was brilliant. I think it was amazing. And I want everyone to understand this also. Cat never said that he was perfect. He's talking about everyone because they were like, well, why isn't Cat Williams talking about Cat Williams? Because Cat Williams didn't go on Club Shay Shay and talk about everyone else. Cat Williams was only responding as a rebuttal to what people said about him. Right. So that's why I'm getting on there saying I'm perfect. I'm not doing nothing wrong. I'm not this. I've never done this or that. I'm responding to the rebuttal. And that's the only thing that I'm responding to. And in the future, because if, sometimes when you have greatness on you, there's a responsibility that comes with it. In the future, if I want to do a documentary about me, in the future, if I want to tell you more, then I will decide that when it's time for me to decide that. But that ain't it right now.
Yeah, he definitely responded to the rebuttal of when Cedric was on Club Shay Shay, and then also when Ricky Smiley was talking to Shannon Sharpe as well. But, you know, he's also kind of rebuttaling back. It might not be a rebuttal because he's been knowing Kevin Hart's ex-wife, Tori Hart, for a very long time. But
Yeah.
he also talked about how Kevin Hart shot his way up to stardom in Hollywood. And he mentioned a couple things. Kevin Hart did go on to another show and he spoke about how Cat Williams bought the Knicks, but then returned the Knicks with the receipt 15
Oh
days
yeah.
later. And also Kevin said that he doesn't have any like hard feelings with Tori Hart going on tour with Cat Williams, but Tori Hart is about to go to a few different states with Cat Williams. I think it's gonna be phenomenal. Cat Williams did mention on Club Shay Shay that he would never take anybody on tour who's not funnier than him, and Tori Hart sure is funny. So that should
Yeah.
be a very interesting tour once they release it.
Yeah, shout out
Yeah.
to my girl Tori. She comes
Yeah.
up to, you know, she performs where I work or whatever else. I don't want to put out her location of her business or whatever else like that. But she comes up there, she performs with a couple of my friends just as well. Shout out to them, King Keeter and everybody else. She's an amazing talent. I think that it's about time that she gets her just due, you know, and that she's just not Kevin Hart's ex. She's her own person. She has her own God-given talent. You know, she has her own journey that she's on. So shout out to Kat for recognizing that and providing another Black woman a platform to be able to showcase, shine, to be able to show her God-given talent. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see her.
Yeah, shout outs again to my girl Tori. She's hella funny, very down to earth. I first met her at the HAPA Awards years ago, and she's just been an amazing person every time I see her. And we're in the same vicinity. And like Kat said, he don't put nobody on there that's not funnier than him. She's definitely that. One thing I can say, she never talked about anything that she did for her ex-husband. You know, she handled herself with grace and class, and right now it's her time. She's reaping a harvest. So if anybody have anything to say about that, they can kick rocks. You know, I see people talking about, oh, she need to be loyal. Why she need to be loyal to a man that cheated on her? Why does she need to be loyal to a man that she's no longer with? And to me, why does she have to be loyal to a man that she put her hard work into? You understand what I'm saying? Like, she helped him, you know, write some of his funny jokes and everything too.
Yeah.
So why can't Queen get her just due, like you said? Like, it's her time.
Well,
and I think
agree
people need.
I agree with them that she should be loyal to herself.
Yeah.
To her blessing, to her gift. You feel me? So why is it that fellas, y'all ain't gonna like this, but I'm just saying it because it is what it is, right? A lot of times when we talk about women, we say, oh, we want our woman to be submissive. They should be this, they should be that, right? Cool. My question is, who are we being submissive to? Because if we the leader, then what example are we giving them to follow? You can't just demand something. First of all, she is her own person. So if she wants to be a comedian, obviously what she did, but she took the back burner to Kevin, which is okay. Her relationship has nothing to do with what's going on right now. So don't let someone with a past, because we all have a past, don't throw no rocks at a glass house, you feel me? Because we all have glass houses. Change the simple fact that she's talented, she's funny, she's deserving. She's been through the grinder to put herself in the position that she's in. But if she had gave up on her dream, if she would have let that situation break her, she would not be able to enjoy the fruits of her labor right now. So this is a testament to anyone who's going through something, that you can continue moving forward and becoming great if you just stick with your gift. It's not about a person, it's about you.
Amen. Drop mic right there. And we're going to take a quick break and give a proud shout out to our sponsors, 24/7 Live Culture. We are back from commercial break, and 21 Savage just dropped his new album. He also has a biopic coming out, American Dream, 21 Savage Story. It's starring Donald Glover, Gail Bean, Caleb McLaughlin, Drewski, Jabari Banks, and many more people. I mean, just with the cast alone, when he dropped it, I was like, oh, I didn't even see this coming. I didn't see a biopic coming at all, but I'm actually interested because it's going to show him coming from London to the United States and just his whole life story. And I thought it's going to be pretty cool because we're going to see an international superstar like take over low-key America with rap games. So it should be good.
Yeah, I'm excited to.
Go ahead, Queen.
No, go ahead. You got it.
Oh, I was going to say, Dylon. It's about to be fire. First of all, his music go crazy. And here's the thing. You never know what somebody's been through because you got a lot of kids that say, hey, I want to be 21 Savage. Hey, I want this. I want that. Until you actually see someone's journey. And to come from his situation to take over. First of all, you have Americans that can't even take over in America. So for him to come from a whole nother situation to find his way here into stardom, his ups, his downs, I'm so excited to see the movie. If you need an actor casting, I'm ready to work. You feel me? But I know it's going to be amazing.
Yes. I'm super excited for this film because, like you said, people need to see the grind. Everybody think that you just a one, what is it called? Overnight success. It's not an overnight success. People have been putting years and years and years into this industry, and for to show like how they get there from point A to point B. It's amazing because a lot of times, even with social media, you have these young people that look at their peers riding Ferraris and Lamborghinis and things like that. And they feel like, oh, I haven't arrived yet. But you don't know that's rented. You don't know that's somebody else's car that they just allowed to borrow. You understand what I'm saying? So you don't know what people went through in order to get the things that they got. So for him to open up his life from one country to the next, to show the adversity and then show the stardom and show, how he got there. It's amazing. And to have Danny Glover,
right.
That's just
talk about it.
That's a legend, man. I'm excited.
Facts. And you're right. The grind, you don't know how people are grinding out here. It might look like it's overnight, but low-key, people might have been grinding for 15, like 20 years. And speaking of the grind, Snoop Dogg will always be on his grind. He about to correspond the 2024 Paris Olympics for NBC and Peacock. He already did some correspondence in the last Olympic Games with Kevin Hart, but now they said, we bring you to Paris, Snoop. We need you full force effect. And Snoop Dogg don't take no days off. Y'all can say what y'all say, but Snoop Dogg has always been an icon in this game since he started.
They're going to start calling him Worldwide Snoop.
Seriously, worldwide, he can do anything. Like,
right.
What rapper have you seen be a reporter for NBC?
Yeah.
Rapper like Snoop. Like, Snoop is a legit, like, West Coast rapper and got a contract with NBC. Tell me he ain't playing no games.
Look, he's definitely diversified his portfolio from being a reporter to being on a cooking show with Martha Stewart to, the Jimmy Kimmel to just Super Bowl interviews and things like that. So his impact is amazing. I hope they do a biopic on Snoop, I'm talking about his greatness and all the things that he's been through because, again, man, being able to see what's behind the veil. And to your point, shout out to Marlon Webb and Chella. Everybody wants to be social media influencers now, but they don't understand that they make videos every single day. And they don't know if the videos are going to be viral or not, but it's not about it being viral. It's about the love to make the content. And because they love the content so more, it came with discipline and consistency. And that's why they're in the position that they're in. So here's the secret sauce, y'all. Whatever you want to do, you got to be disciplined and you got to have consistency and you got to be willing to do it when ain't nobody looking. And all of a sudden, everybody will be looking. That's why they're in the position. The question is, are you going to work the same way they've been working?
Absolutely. And one thing I like about Snoop, and I say this all the time when people ask me, what do I do? Because I do a lot across the board. I'm a one-stop shop, and you know how like people tell you to stay on one lane. Certain people are not designed to stay on one lane. We're designed to take up the highway. So wherever our take us is where we're going to go. And that's one thing I love about Snoop because he's not boxed in to Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? He's been a coach, a football coach. He's been a reporter. He cooked with freaking, what's the lady name?
Martha Stewart.
You know what I'm saying? So he's been doing a lot of different things to show like, hey, you don't have to just be a rapper in this game. You can be whatever you want to be. And I love that about Snoop. And I'm super excited for everything that he has coming out too.
I think Snoop and P has done an amazing job of diversifying their portfolio, showcasing that you can be more than just one thing. Because when you become dependent on one thing and you lose it, you don't know who you are. But when you start diversifying your portfolio or whatever else, it'll take you to new heights and new levels. So I think that we all have that talent in us. The question is just will we use it?
Yeah, and in this game, you have to versatile yourself to get the bag and be on the level of Snoop, on the level of P, on the level of just any person that you see. Rihanna, like you have to have the different avenues. You have to, because you ain't gonna really survive just doing one thing. So you gotta be, like Sarina says, she says she's more than a one-stop shop, baby.
Yeah, talk your talk.
and then the thing too, to your point, Gentel, you have to have the right circle.
You do.
That right is, you know, if people can't see your vision, they can dumb you down to where you like, you have this big vision and be like, oh, I don't think you can do that. And now you think you can't do that. You understand? So who you marry, who you're in relationship with, whether it's business, whether it's friendship, those things are very key, especially if you're a gifted person. Yeah. So I'll evaluate your circle.
Yeah.
That hit me in my soul.
Right. Because you surround yourself around, and that's good that you said that, because the NWA, they had a good enough circle where they're about to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award, Grammys. If that doesn't tell you something, I don't know what does, because they stood up for what they believed in with their music. Right. They didn't care what nobody says. They're going to tell y'all straight how it is. And look at them now getting their flowers in front of us while they're still alive. At least some of them, rest in peace, Eazy-E. But, you know, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, the whole team, like they're about to receive their flowers at the Grammys. And that's one of the highest honors you can get.
Yes. So I really am. You don't understand how proud I am of them, because when it was a time where we didn't really have a voice, where, you know, it was around the Rodney King era. You understand what I'm saying? Like, we've seen how Black men have been treated in America. And for them to come out with a song, F the police, with no, like, come on now, like that's bold.
Yeah.
And now that's really standing up for our people. And you making hits, and you make history, and you about to get a Grammy for that. That's what we need nowadays. You know, I understand we had the whole George Floyd movement, we had the Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I'm saying? But what's going on now? Where's the noise? It's still going on. We do the marches, we do the rallies, but after that, we go home and just go to our daily lives. I remember I went to the March on Washington. This is kind of off topic. I went to the March on Washington. I'm standing there right next to Martin Luther King's son, his granddaughter, Al Sharpton, all of them. Bird's eye view of where Martin Luther King had his I Had a Dream speech. Yeah. Millions of people out there. And I'm like, okay, we marching. It's a million of y'all out here. What we gonna do after this? Everything died down. But for them to create music that lived on, that's the legacy. Yeah. You know, so I'm super excited for them. I'm super proud of them, and it's very well deserved.
For me, it hits a little different, right? Because I experienced it. You know, I was wrongfully assaulted in my military uniform in front of my home. So for them to speak at a time that they spoke, you know, what type of courage that took, you know, type of backlash that came with. Yeah. My whole point of saying this is, when you stand 10 toes down in your truth when nobody believes, look at where God will bring you. And I ain't trying to put God on nobody, but now look at the award that they're receiving.
But you're right.
If you would have told them they were going to get this award when they first made this song, they probably would have cussed you out. You feel me? They would never believe that they would be in the position. But this is proof of doing the impossible and making it possible, because they stood 10 toes down. They're being rewarded. And they're still fighting to this day. You had Cube trying to come out with, I think he wanted to meet with Trump about, you know, changing the system and making things better. He's still 10 toes down on his morals right now. So if you're going to stand for the truth, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Absolutely right. I mean, anything is possible, and NWA is definitely showing us that if you stay to what you truly believe in, you can go far. I mean, just keep on
Yeah.
going.
Oh, matter of fact, you said who's next? I'm next. I got a new piece that I'm going to be dropping, Gentel. It's entitled "Am I in a Domestic Violent Relationship with
Mm.
America?"
Okay,
And
well, we
so,
that because I know your other film that you did on yourself. It was very good. It was
yeah,
very
with that, I mean, I did a film that we won awards, won Movie of the Year at the Chinese Theater that I directed. I never thought the day where I was getting assaulted by the police and wrongfully facing 10 years in jail that I would become an award-winning director, an award-winning actor. I would be on HBO Ballers. So people see the red carpet, but they don't know the journey that it took for me to even be in the position that I am. Even to be on 24/7 live culture, you know what I mean, is a journey, is a process. So I'm grateful when you're able to stand 10 toes down, because there's a point in time in my life people didn't believe what happened. People read my book and still don't believe that I experienced this. So shout out to NWA, shout out to the journey, shout out to overcoming. And my just last little preachy little question is, as a people, how do we become so comfortable in our comfort today when the comforts that we have come from the bloodstains of our ancestors who sacrificed to make a difference to even give us this comfort? And when are we going to carry on that flame or that tradition and stand 10 toes down right now in our gift, in our presence, because we're deserving to be here? So when we start standing 10 toes down, not just for a moment, not just for that opportunity, but consistently, that's when we'll start seeing the changes that we actually want to see, because the fortune is made in the follow-up.
yeah.
I think that change is going to happen when we as a people understand integrity, understand character. You understand? I in a video where Monique was talking to Steve Harvey about that situation, right? Steve Harvey thing was because she was like, okay, so why you ain't say nothing, brother? And he was like, he said, I have a family. I'm not going to say something to jeopardize my family and my livelihood. So you mean to tell me that your integrity for your people? Come on now. So until we have that integrity, until we have that drive in us to where we're not scared to stand 10 toes down, that's when it's gonna happen.
Yeah, we've definitely become soft. We definitely have lost our integrity, our boundaries and morals. And I'm not saying that there aren't any people doing the right thing. I'm just saying, as a collective, there's so much more that we can do, because look at what they did to even get here.
Yeah.
You know, we came together, we strategized, we talked, we had a little more respect and love for each other. So I don't want us to lose that because we're chasing the bag. And you'll never tell me one dictionary that you'll find success before sacrifice, failure, and opportunity, because you got to fail at the opportunity and be willing to sacrifice to get the success that you want. The question is, what price are you willing to pay to get the freedom that you want to pay? Because freedom comes with a price.
Freedom does come with a price, and you do have to have integrity. At the end of the day, you want to be the change you want to see, and keep it 100. I think so far 2024 has showed us that it's going to be a lot of changes going on. I don't know what type of changes, but it sounds like it's going to be the truth, and the truth shall set you free. This was another episode of Culture Minute. I am Gentel Sharrie.
Hey, I'm King Jaquell Martin. We're in the building.
I'm Sarina Renee.
And we will see you guys on the next episode.